Hey guys, it's Stephen here on a lazy Friday afternoon with absolutely loads of transfer talk for you. There's been loads of rumours over the past 24 hours, some surprising, some predictable, and some very contentious, put it that way. But as ever, thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring this channel. If you haven't downloaded it yet, you're an absolute muppet. Well, you're not. You're just, saving the space on your phone probably. Because that's the only reason you would not have downloaded it so far, because it's a really good app. So go download it, help support this channel. Link in the description below. All the usual stuff. There it is on the side of the screen. Go and do it now. Go and do it. If you haven't already done it, why not? No excuse. I also want to say thank you to my latest patron, Joseph Czar. Joseph, welcome to my Patreon. You're an absolute hero. Thanks for getting involved. Patreon.com/Esteemed Company if you want to get involved too. If not, don't worry. Keep watching these videos as ever. But that's your shout out. Tongue-tied. That's your shout out, Joseph Czar. Thank you very much. Also, I'm shouting out myself here, which can I do that? Well, I guess I can. It's my channel and these are my rules. My Facebook page, facebook.com/Esteemed Company. I'm posting loads over there, just like daily updates, because it's quite fun. It's not the kind of stuff I do on Twitter. It's more like kind of news stuff, and it's just quite nice to do it. Facebook.com/Esteemed Company. Go and give that a like and help me grow that Facebook page, because it's really good. Right, we're on to the actual meat of this video now after all my waffle and spiel. Harry Maguire, yep, this has been kind of growing the very kind of He's divided loyalties between Manchester City fans, put it that way. Now, it kind of blew up about last night when certain journalists reporting that City pretty much agreed a 65 million fee. And then about an hour later, loads of local Leicester reporters were going, no, they haven't. Leicester still won about 80 million. So it's kind of been going back and forth. But the one thing that's pretty obvious is that we obviously are interested in Harry Maguire. Now, my take on this is that it's a bit underwhelming, obviously. Do I think Maguire's a decent player, though? Yeah. The one thing I'll say about Maguire is that he really annoyed me last season. Well, not last season, in one game in particular. The game against Leicester towards the end of the season. Now, obviously, we needed to win that game. We got it by Vincent Kompany's goal. But we were struggling to break through Leicester, and he was very solid and resolute in defence. But it wasn't just that annoyed me about Maguire. It's the fact that he didn't give the ball away. He was really press resistant, and he kept passing it past our players, stepping into midfield. And that annoyed me because he was good. And I'm almost certain Guardiola noticed that day and thought, fair play to this lad. In a game where we're pressing so hard and we're going at him, he's keeping his composure and keeping his cool. Now, a lot of people have said it's underwhelming for the fee, and he isn't an £80 million player. I totally agree with that. Now, I will say naively that I do believe Guardiola can prove pretty much anyone that he gets his hands on. And Maguire's the kind of player that could go up another level potentially under Guardiola. He doesn't have the turn of pace. I agree with that. And a lot of people have pointed towards a clip from the All or Nothing documentary last year where Guardiola was pointing out to Walker, I think it was to Sane or someone. And someone, no, it would be Walker and Sterling maybe, whoever was on the right. Anyway, he was pointing out to them that they could exploit his pace with certain passing. That doesn't necessarily mean Guardiola thinks he's naff. I'm pretty certain that Guardiola said very similar things about some of the best players in world football. I'm sure if Guardiola now was setting up to play against Messi, he'd probably say Messi's going to walk around in the middle of the pitch and do absolutely naff all. So look to exploit that space or that lack of energy from there. It's almost like they've got 10 men sometimes with Messi. But that's not him saying Messi's crap. It's just saying he knows Messi's weakness, because that's the kind of coach Guardiola is. And now, having said that, if Guardiola still thinks that Maguire has got a bit of a weakness in terms of his pace, and he's still willing to sign him, it shows that maybe, just maybe, the greatest manager in the world thinks he can improve Harry Maguire. So for me, in terms of a player, even though it's not exciting, and even though maybe someone younger would be a little bit more interesting, fair enough. That's all I will say to that. I do trust Guardiola to get it right, because every player pretty much improves under his tutelage. On to the next player, and one that pretty much everyone wants, is Rodri. There's been loads of news over the past 24 hours. Marcus Llorente is signed for Atletico from Real Madrid. Pretty much widely accepted that he's Rodri's replacement. And this came after, according to David Cartledge at ESPN, who's a La Liga expert, he said that Diego Simeone had made one last chance to try and convince Rodri to stay. He'd rang him up on the phone and been like, please stay, pal, and whatever please stay, pal is in Spanish. Someone let me know in the comments below. And he'd said, no, I'm going to go to Manchester City Football Club. So they went and signed Llorente. And this also ties in nicely as well with some news from Christian Falk, who works for Bild, one of the most prominent German newspapers. He said on Twitter, and I quote, "We received information that it's hard for Bayern to afford him. It was difficult for Bayern Munich to be quick. That is why if there were no City interest, Bayern Munich would have more time than it would have worked. But the chance is over now. Obviously, obviously Bayern, it's just a time problem, obviously, for them. Or maybe he just prefers to play for Manchester City. Just a thought. But either way, you've got a Spanish journalist there confirming that he wants to leave, and you've got a Spanish team selling the Spanish team the replacement. Then you've got a German journalist saying that the German team are out of it. And then you've got an English journalist, in someone from the Mirror, I think was it David McDonald? Someone from the Mirror anyway, saying that City hope to complete the transfer next week. And all the signs are pointing that we're about to trigger his release clause and all this kind of stuff. Good stuff, because he's a fantastic player. He fits the profile entirely. He can easily become one of the best number sixes in the world. He probably is already, actually. I would love it. It looks like he's coming to City. Thank God for that. And on to Cancelo, another player that might be coming to our way. Gazzetta over there in Italy are reporting that he's packed his bag seriously, whatever that means. Serious bag package there. He's on his way to Manchester City, according to them. There was also some quips, apparently, from some Juve staff that you might need to pack some umbrellas because apparently it rains over here all the time, which it does. Having said that, I saw on Twitter earlier that the average rainfall in Turin is much higher, though they probably get more sunny days than we do, even though it's blue skies out there at the moment, for once. But it looks like he's going to come. Juventus chairman wants about 60 million. With add-ons, we could get close to that because we've offered 50 million. Either way, it seems very, very likely. Now, Fabio Paratici, whoever he is, I think he's representative or something like that. Who is he? I'm going to Google him now. I don't actually know. Fabio, he's probably some absolute charlatan. He's going to make the transfer cost a lot more. Fabio Paratici is... he's the sporting director for Juventus, so he probably is some charlatan. Let's be honest, they're all dodgy sporting directors. Most of them, allegedly. Didn't say that. He's flying to Manchester to sort it out apparently next week. It could be a delay if we don't find a home from Danilo. This is from Calcio Mercato. It looks likely that once again that this is something that we want to happen, and presuming there's no hitches, it could happen. I want him. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's got loads of energy. I think he offers something very different to Walker, and variety is the spice of life and all that kind of stuff. And he bombs forward very much in the style that Dani Alves did. And Dani Alves at Guardiola, that was a match made in heaven. And I think Guardiola looks at someone like Cancelo and goes, he's the future of our right back and he can do loads of good things for us. So City, go and sign him, please. That would be very, very nice. And finally, not least, actually, well, it's not even finally, actually, it's another one after this, Asier Riesgo. Nope, I've never heard of him. You've never heard of him. And if you have, you're probably lying. No, he's Eibar's backup keeper, 35-year-old Spanish keeper. He's had a very... nomadic career, put it that way. He's about to come in on a one-year contract as our third choice goalkeeper. I'm pretty certain he's probably just the Spanish Richard Wright or the Spanish Stuart Taylor. He's going to come in, he's going to play no games whatsoever, he's going to double his wages, literally that's what he says apparently, and then he's going to learn to be a coach, which is not a bad little kind of deal for him really. He gets to win a couple of medals as the third choice keeper because you get a medal when you do. Does probably nothing. Apparently he was a bit nervous about the move, but then he realised what a great chance it is, and he's like, right, I'm going to go and go for that. I guess what he means in terms of our young lads, Muric will rightfully go on loan and get some game time somewhere because he needs it. There's no point for him sitting on the bench. He needs to go and develop his career. And I think Bravo will stay around as a second choice, and Riesgo, whatever he's called, will be here next season. Then on to Angelino. There's just some reports today about it could be about a week. Maybe into July actually when it could happen, which is making me think, is this Puma thing actually true? Loads of people are saying, I wonder if we're just waiting to make all these signings until like after we've signed with Puma, so all the players are holding the Puma shirt up and that kind of stuff. For what it's worth, I think in general they wouldn't like to make all the signings together just to simply maximise the exposure, publicity. You want to make them like one a week or whatever, so City are constantly the news, and that kind of stuff does play out. And also, you just want to sign them to get it out of the way. Having said that, I'm pretty certain City are pretty much in control of the Angelino thing, because I'm going to presume he wants to come back here. We've got this buyback clause, so it's automatically accepted. And I think this will happen. It just may take a little bit of time for various reasons. I don't know why it would take time, but, you know, whatever. Football clubs and multi-million-pound contracts, so I guess they're quite an expensive thing to organise sometimes, so fair be it. Fair be it, so be it. But fair dues, there's the words I was thinking about. Maybe with all these other transfer signings going on, it looks like our summer could be literally Maguire, Cancelo, Angelino, Riesgo guy, and Rodri. I'd be so happy with that, wouldn't it? That'd be such an exciting bunch of transfers. It covers all positions. It's just fun as well. There's a few surprises there. We don't need anything going forward really, other than what Angelino and Cancelo would offer, and Rodri would obviously allow development in midfield. It'd just be nice that. I'd like it. I could even get over the Maguire thing, I reckon. It would complete the squad entirely. Obviously, we see a few outgoings from that potentially, and I'll go do a video about that one day. Oh, also, how could I not forget to mention Zinchenko? New contract. Wonderful stuff. Following hot off the heels of Kyle Walker. Great news, because it's nice to see these players players that having players come in their positions. It's like a stroke. God, I'm tired today. It's like a show of solidarity from Manchester City saying, look, I know we're signing players in your position, but we still value you. This is just a squad thing. Have a new contract. Walker, Zinchenko both signed new contracts, which is absolutely great news. It's looking like it's coming together slowly now. We've got to be patient over these things. These are a bunch of good players. The ones that we seem to be more or less exclusively in for by ourselves. So I know we can mess these things up, but it seems like we should be okay, barring some kind of Jorginho-esque kind of like last-minute disaster or whatever. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping that we get all these guys in, and I'm hoping that we have a bunch of new players holding that brand spanking new purple Puma kit, which is kind of weird, come July the 1st. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for hopefully commenting down below and liking this video as well. Hope you enjoyed all this transfer roundup. There'll be a video tomorrow for the Patreon Q&A. I've already recorded it, and I've done a couple of Patreon videos to record them, so I'll be going with Saturday. And unless anything big happens, I'll jump on with the transfer target, maybe a live video at some point. Thank you once again to all these names scrolling down here. Go and download OneFootball. Go and like my Facebook page, and I'll see you very, very soon. Have a good weekend.